Hello, welcome to another session on academic writing. In fact, this book deals with two different types of writing. First one is academic writing, and then the second part is professional writing. Actually, chapters 1 to 6 deal with academic writing, and 7 and 8 focuses on professional writing. So, actually we are going to the last unit, that is unit 8, where we see the second part of professional writing. The first part actually will be dealt by another teacher, hopefully, but actually there is no continuation of unit 7 and 8, so we can fairly go to unit 8 directly, no harm. So now we are going to see the 7 topics which are discussed in this unit. They are writing CVs, letter writing, writing email, writing summaries, writing memos, blog writing, etiquette or netiquette in writing. So these are the 7 topics we are going to see, but in this class or session we will be focusing only on writing CVs. So let us go to it. So writing CV. So we will see what is the full form of CV. CV stands for curriculum vitae. It's a Latin term which translates as the course of one's life. Course means like a flow, like a river. So curriculum vitae is actually trying to show what our life is, the summary of our life. So mainly it is the summary of our academic achievements as well as our work history or work experience. A well-formatted CV could dramatically improve an individual's chance to successfully obtain a desirable position. So this shows the importance or significance of curriculum vitae. So in order to get a job or to get job easily, we need to have an excellent curriculum vitae, very impressive curriculum vitae, because that shows what we are, that is summary of our life. That's why we should take a lot of care when we prepare our CV. So we are going to see the details of making curriculum vitae. Before that, we will see the difference among the 3 terms, that is biodata, CV and resume. While CV, biodata and resume are more or less used in the same level, for us they don't make much difference. Actually there are certain differences among these 3, difference in its usage as well as content. So first we go to biodata. So what is the meaning of biodata? Biodata means biographical data. So it emphasizes on personal particulars like date of birth, sex or gender, nationality, marital status and so on. So a biodata shows your life, starting with your date of birth, your gender, which country you belong to, whether you are married or not. That is actually biodata. So it has a specific format. So a biodata has a format. You can't stray away from the format. Whereas resume is an advertising tool for selling oneself as the most qualified candidate. So resume is almost like an advertisement. It is trying to sell ourselves like a product. We are trying to project ourselves as the best candidate for that particular vacancy. It is typically used in business and there is no specific format for a resume. So resume is usually used in business areas and there is no specific format for that. Now let us go to the difference between CV and resume. The most basic difference between CV and resume is in its length. That means comparatively the resume is shorter. It could be just 1 or 2 pages, whereas a CV is rather long. It could run into 3 to or 4 or even 5 pages. So it is rather long. A CV is used primarily when applying for academic, scientific or research positions. Usually when you are looking for a vacancy in academic or scientific fields, we use our CV or curriculum vitae. It is also used when applying for fellowships and grants. So when we are doing some research and all that, we can apply for a fellowship or grant. Unlike resume, it is static. That means a CV or curriculum vitae is static. That means it doesn't change. Resume can change its form depending on the nature of our application. We can change our resume, whereas curriculum vitae is always the same. It doesn't change. The purpose of CV is to elaborate on your educational background and academic pursuits. So the main purpose of curriculum vitae is to project or to elaborate on our educational backgrounds, that is our qualification, and also our academic pursuits, our work experience. So these are the two things curriculum vitae is trying to focus. Now we are going to see the details of curriculum vitae, the different components, different parts of a curriculum vitae. So we have the following sections for a curriculum vitae. The first one, we are starting with contact information or personal profile. So it is vital that the reader can spot at a glance not only your name but also precisely how to get in contact with you. So what comes first is definitely your personal profile, where you are supposed to mention your name. So as soon as someone opens your curriculum vitae, the first thing they should catch a hold of or get the attention of is your name, definitely. So it should be in a big font, very attractively or boldly given, so that people can catch hold of your name before they go to other details. Then you can add your address, phone number, email address, date of birth, gender, marital status, religion, Aadhaar number, etc. All these information also can be added in your personal profile. Now we move on to the second aspect of curriculum vitae, that is the objective statement. Here you are trying to make a statement of your objective. Objective here means your purpose. What are your motivations, or what really pushes you forward? That is your objective statement. The task of the objective statement is to explain your preferred career direction and details on what you hope to achieve from your future career. So here you are stating clearly what are you trying to achieve through this particular job, or what is your future prospect in this particular career. While writing an objective statement, you should write down the types of positions, types of organizations or settings, and specific skills you want to use or develop in your next job. So what are your expectations from that particular job? if you are trying to achieve a kind of particular post or designation, you can clearly state that, or what kind of organizations you prefer to work with, and also the skills that you want to make use of or develop in your career. All these can be stated in this second section, that is objective statements. The third part is key skills and abilities. Here again we are trying to project ourselves as well as our skills. What are the skills that we have with us, and also the achievements. So key skills. A key skills section is a summary of the main skills and abilities you are offering to a prospective employer. So today we know that all the companies are looking for people who are skilled. So skills are very important. They are focusing on skills rather than your knowledge alone. So we need to develop a lot of skills through our education, not mere knowledge. So what are the skills the people or the employers are looking for? They are communication skills, how good you are at communicating, interpersonal skills, your relationship with other people in the company, then administrative skills, whether you are able to manage certain positions like manager, supervisor, CEO, etc. Or organizational skills, whether you are able to organize different meetings, seminars, all those, or presentation skills. So today we know handling media is very important. How you can use media in order to present your skills. So getting a good presentation skill is very important today. Next, achievements. What are the achievements you have had throughout your life? Here you can highlight your personal, professional and academic achievements, awards, etc. Whether you are given some awards or certificates, those things can be highlighted here. Now come to the fourth component, that is education and qualification. Here you are going to enumerate one by one all your educational qualifications. Usually we start from the latest qualification, then we go back to the first. So this part includes descriptions of your qualifications, the dates you received your qualifications. So what are the qualifications you have, then the year and date on which you received that qualification, then the grades or class or marks that you achieved, then the names of the education institutions, maybe college or universities or other institutes where you have studied, then special certifications, licenses, additional vocational trainings, etc. So other certificates you have achieved, then whether you have had any in-house training, then as part of your job sometimes you have been given training. So all this can be mentioned or highlighted in your educational qualifications. Next we move on to the fifth component, that is career history or work experience. So this section is definitely for your experience. So you start with your present or most recent job and all the way back to your very first job. So you are starting from the recent one, the latest, and then going back to the first job. It's in the reverse chronological order. In this part we need to specify first of all the dates or the duration, from which date to which date you worked for an organization. So clearly mention the duration from this particular month to this particular month and year. So these things have to be definitely mentioned there. then your job title or designation or responsibilities held in that job. So what is your position, what is your job title, what are the responsibilities held during this particular experience. Then the name of the organization you worked for along with location. So you need to give the company's name or the institution's name where you worked along with the location where it is situated, and a compelling description of what your role entailed. That means as a manager or as a sales executive, what are your responsibilities that you had. All this can be described here. Now we move on to the sixth component, that is personal profile. So a personal profile is a brief statement at the very beginning of a CV which lists the most relevant information about that person. That is like year and date of birth, Aadhaar card number, passport details, languages in the order of proficiency, hobbies and interests. So these are the details you can give in this particular section. That is your year and date of birth, Aadhaar card number, passport details, then what are the languages you know, whether suppose you know English or Hindi, whether you are able to read, write, speak. So all this can be mentioned there. That is language proficiency. Then hobbies and interests, you can also mention your hobbies and interests in this particular section. Now we come to the last component, that is references. So what is the meaning of references? Now here we are giving the address and contact number of one or two people who you know very closely, who can actually confirm the details about you. That means in case of clarification, they can contact these people for knowing more about you, whether all this given, all the facts given in your curriculum vitae are true or not. They can check or verify that by referring to these people. So that's the meaning of references. The reference listed should be willing to confirm your claim. So in fact, when they contact these people, they should be willing to give the details regarding you. So they can be your teachers, supervisors, former boss, even neighbors. Suppose if it is related to your profession, so there is someone close to your home who know you, then even that person's name and address can be given for reference. So this is the last section of curriculum vitae. I think we have seen all the different components in detail. I hope that is clear. Now we go to a sample CV. How a curriculum vitae looks like. You can also refer to page number 228 and 29. There you have one sample CV. Please go through that. Then you can have a better look at that. So here we start with the person's personal or contact information. Here you have the name clearly written, then you have the address, the phone number, email address, all these are given there in the first part of curriculum vitae, that is contact information. Next you have the personal profile. It gives a summary of his qualification, experience and all that, very essential things about that person. Next you have the objective, what are his expectations from this job, what he would like to do, all those things are given in his objective. Then you have the education qualifications, starting from the latest and going back to the high school level. So it is in reverse chronological order. Then you have a list of his skills, additional skills, in various fields. It is also mentioned where he has worked and all that. And then interests and activities, like hobbies. Then we have the last section, that is references. So a person's address is given with actually the contact number is supposed to be there. So one person's reference is given. You can give more than one. There is nothing wrong with that. So these are the various components of a curriculum vitae, and we have come to the end of this session. I hope you have a clear picture of what a curriculum vitae is now, and if there are certain clarifications required, definitely we will do in the next session, where we will be dealing with the question answers of the same session. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.